Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. We will find out in a few seconds, I guess. How are you doing on this wonderful Thursday, the 13th of March? Yeah, I can hear myself. That is a good thing. I assume so can you. So yeah. Oh, there's our Demidrag. How are you doing, my friend? Oh yeah, I heard about the daylight savings. I think we will do daylight savings next week. Um, uh, I think we'll do them next week, or possibly on the 20th, like this weekend, or possibly on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, that weekend. So I may come back to the normal time again very soon. But otherwise, good night. Hello, Jin. How are you doing? And hello, Ori. How are you doing? um, well, I am slightly more organized than I was yesterday, which I guess is a good thing. I'm slowly settling in back in Germany now. I was almost going to like another festival this weekend on Friday to Písek in Bohemia, the Czech Republic, but some family thing came up, so I won't be able to go there. And instead, I will go and visit my mother and help her with some stuff around the house, which she can't do at the moment because of the whole hospital thing. So I'll be very, very manly and carry around heavy stuff instead of listening to heavy stuff and possibly drinking heavy stuff. As long as it stays heavy, I guess. The trip was great. Like, I mean, obviously, I've been to Athens before. It's a wonderful place. Uh, met a lot of people. I usually meet like once per year, maybe a couple times, depending on which people got to uh, see a bunch of really cool bands. Ate a lot of good food because it's Greece and they have amazing food there, and hung out way too long at night. Slept way too little. All of those things. So all in all, I would call it a big success. So there's that. And yeah, so now I'm slowly getting back into doing things. Figuring stuff out. Going back to the gym today for the first time because, like, the one thing that was kind of annoying is that on there was a strike on all German airports on Monday, and I'm in favor of strikes. It just meant that my flight for Monday had to be rescheduled for Tuesday. So I arrived in Germany on Tuesday, which was when the bus drivers in my town decided to go on strike, which once again I'm totally in favor of, but certainly did make coming home a bit more stressful and slower and everything. Now I need to find out if I can get the money for the extra night in the hotel back from the airline or not. Supposedly I can, but it means writing the airline, finding out about it, being and I'm really bad at doing this because writing official emails really annoys me. I think that's the one use where I can see ChatGPT or any other program like that being really helpful because it could write that email for me and I don't have to do it and I don't have to come up with like the proper words for like a complaint email to a fucking airline. I mean, that airline being Aegean Airlines, Aegean who were really, really nice and helpful. So, you know, I'm not complaining about them. I'm just like saying, yeah, 50 bucks per night for like a hotel is something that I can't really afford too often. So, you know, frustrating, but what can you do? Woke up this morning, I got like an angry reply to the comment I made on a video 3 years ago, where I'm like, wow, you went back and watched that really, really old Library of a Viking video about he read, supposedly tried this controversial fantasy series and it didn't go well, which is his first attempt at reading Malazan. And I don't remember what I said. I was mostly pissed off about the fact that he called it controversial, which is like, look, call it supposedly complicated, call it, you know, overhyped or whatever, right? We can work with that. But like, Malazan's not controversial. No one's calling out Malazan for, its inherent racism, its inherent sexism, or any of the other things that are obviously not there. So where's the controversy with Malazan, right? Like, use the right words, motherfucker, is what I basically said. And apparently that is something I should not do, because why would I? And it's like, why would you comment on this like 3 years later and expect anyone to actually see this? Hey, Apollo, how you doing? Oh, nice. Lyon and Montpellier. Okay. Do you have family there, or is it just that there's like a lot of IT stuff happening there, and it looks like the most promising cities for you? I've never been to either one. I've mostly been to Bretagne, and I've been to Perpignan, which is all the way over in on the French side of Catalonia. So, and I obviously always had to change trains in Paris because you always have to. But good luck with the job search there. Certainly sounds like a wise move if you can make it. Hello, Apollo. How are you doing? See, that's the thing. Is like, if you would say that, like, I've tried this controversial pizza and it and it didn't work out well, and you talk about like pizza with pineapple on it, I can get it. There's a controversy around it, but like, where's the controversy about Malazan? There's not. Yeah, blueberry muffins. Yeah, highly controversial. Highly controversial thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. And you're doing like a lot of like IT, like data stuff, right? Data science, data. What's the word? Transformation and visualization things. So, probably there is work in like near, universities that do like research and need like someone to take all those numbers and make them dance and look good. Oof. Yeah, that might have been controversial, Ori. Well, I have never read Proust. I probably should, but I read Olympus and Ilium by Dan Simmons, and that has certainly soured me massively on reading Proust, which is not the fault of Proust. So maybe at some point I'll actually read Proust. I just need something, to go back and like, oh, actually, this is interesting. I don't, you know, it's not just a vehicle to promote your superiority over women and effeminate men and Muslims and just about everyone else, which is what usually Dan Simmons does, which is interesting because as far as I know, oh no, right, that makes sense, right? He'll go for Proust because it's supposedly incredibly, highbrow, but he will also go for Proust because Proust was on the right side during the Dreyfus stuff, and Dan Simmons is a bit of a Christian Zionist, so I guess he probably thinks that's the right choice to make, which says a lot about Dan Simmons not understanding the world, but we already knew that. Hey Dylan, yes, I have read it. I think it's incredibly good. I think that The Broken Earth is one of the most, in some ways, one of the most influential trilogies of the first, so like 20 years of this century, like in a lot of ways. Partly in what it does, and partly in that its success with like the 3 Hugos it won and everything showed made major publishers mainstream publishers that writing highly political fantasy with explicit topics around the environment, queer themes, feminist themes, anti-racist themes, all of that stuff does in fact sell and is in fact something worth investing in. In that regard, I think it's absolutely important, and it's just really well written, and yeah, highly recommend it. It's certainly something I had fun with. I made a video about it like years ago. Oh, the joke, the controversial joke. Years and years ago, popular booktuber Library of a Viking made a video when he first tried to read Malazan and bounced off it hard, which is fine, right? I have no problem with that. And he titled it, "I tried this controversial fantasy series and it didn't go well." And back then I wrote a comment. I don't exactly know what it was. That was in 2021, 4 fucking years ago, right? I wrote a comment and said that controversial was maybe not the right term to use here, because Malazan is not controversial. It just is, it has a very small, dedicated fan base and a lot of people who just don't care about it. That's not controversial. It's not like hated by a lot of people. So there's a controversy around it. And we're like, hey, maybe use a different word. And I may have said something else. I don't know. But this morning I woke up with a YouTube notification telling me that someone replied to that 4-year-old comment, being angry that I even had the gall to comment on a video that old, and maybe take away the reviewers' right to dislike the book. And I'm like, no, it's not about the book, motherfucker. Read the comment. If you go to the trouble of watching 4-year-old videos and reading comments on a 4-year-old video, then maybe read the comment like about, it's the internet. No, not really a character in those. You have these two robots in Olympus and Ilium, right? You have these two robots, and they are both enthusiasts about different authors, writers, whatever you want to call them, right? So the one is a massive Shakespeare nerd, and the other one is a massive Proust nerd, and then they have like long ass discussions about the literary merits of their favorite authors, because Dan Simmons wants to show off his erudition, which is fairly minimal, I would argue, but so he wants to do that and show everyone that he knows, that he has read some old white men, basically. And it becomes very annoying because it's not really necessary to the plot. It's just Simmons, well, Simmons indulging in some more pseudo-intellectual wankery is what I would call it. I don't know if I've even ever subscribed to him. I sometimes get his videos in some of my in my recommendations, but rarely. Sometimes I click on them. Sometimes he has something interesting to say. Mostly I disagree with him, but sometimes it's something I can disagree with in like an interesting way. And I didn't even have much of a problem with him not liking the book, or like the video wasn't really that interesting or good in any way, but it was fine. I think I disliked Jason Furman's video on not liking Malazan much more because it was like content-wise just really stupid and incredibly arrogant. But like Library of Viking was just like, I tried this and I totally don't get it. And you know what? That's fine. It was more like calling it controversial that kind of annoyed me. The same way that that one video that some booktuber recently did about the whole Danielle Green situation, where she where they talked about it and goes like, the dangers of reactionary culture when she meant reacting quickly. And that's not what the term reactionary means when you say reactionary culture these days. That's be, be careful what words mean when you use them, especially if you consider yourself, someone who does stuff with words, which, reading kind of is. Um, I think there's stuff in Malazan. You have so many Malazan books, right? We have the 10 from Malazan Book of the Fallen. You have the 9 novels of the Malazan Empire. You have the 4 Path to Ascendancy. You have the 2 Carcanas. You have the 1 so far of the Witness trilogy. You have the Borchelen and Corbel Broach novellas. There's stupidity in there. Anything else would be surprising. What I find stupid may differ from what other people find stupid. But everyone has the right to call something stupid. Controversial has like a very specific meaning, and that is just not there. um, yeah, I guess that's rather my point there. All right, talking about stupid, right? Now let's do the first sprint and be stupid about reading and replying to comments. And I will not, I will not reply to that comment. I just got the notification when I woke up, but I will choose the high road on this one and not engage in that 4-year-old YouTube comment arguments. I don't think that is a valuable use of my time. All right, let's do this. I'll be back around the full hour. Should you actually fall asleep, Demidrek, then I bid you a good night. Otherwise, I'll see you in 45. Same goes for everyone else. See you in 45 or good night, I guess. Or, well, have a good time at work in case you have to go already, Apollo. And I am back. Who would have thought? How did you guys do? I did go through my comments and all of that. I am working on getting rid of my ticket for the festival on the weekend, so I can maybe get at least some of the money back, which would be nice because it's not like I'm rich. And went through some of the news and stuff that I had to well, not had to, but since they end up in my inbox, it's technically just like working on my emails. Yeah. One of them being obviously about the whole like Trump Tesla thing, which holy shit, but not very good, is it? So that's what I did, and I'm trying to figure out which book to read next. I have like a collection of essays by Audre Lorde, which I might go to. I have well, I still have Summer of Fire and Blood, which yeah, and I have a collection of Lord Dunsany short stories and novellas, edited by S.T. Joshi. It's currently free on Audible, so I'm like, well, there's bound to be some in there that I haven't read yet, so might be nice. Also having the introduction and the annotations sounds like an important, interesting thing. And it's like a 17-hour audiobook, so there's a lot of stuff in there, including I think the Gods of Pagana, which is such a weird thing, but Oh yeah. That is so funny with everyone guarding the Cybertrucks. Yeah, that is super funny. Now this was more about Trump shooting, basically doing advertisements for Tesla on the White House lawn, and how it's maybe there is some corruption going on, but and how the media is not really mainstream media is not really reporting on the corruption, but mostly on the spectacle of Trump doing dumb Trump things, which, yeah, they're dumb, but it's also, corruption. It's certainly interesting to see where all of this is going in the future, and if they can get away with it, or if at some point they actually overplay their hand and stuff will explode. But at this point, who can tell? They may just get away with it because no one is willing to actually, do anything about it. Which would be bad, that moment where neoliberalism has poisoned all our minds so much that we we are just accepting this kind of stuff and not decide that there might be need for yeah we might have to do something about this. Yeah. I saw a video of that that whole like sales thing, which is so insanely stupid on so many levels, but because it is so incredibly stupid, it's kind of uh, sort of easy to overlook the blatant like corruption that is illegal. And I know that, and that I think is like the flip side of the whole neoliberalism thing, right? On the one hand, everyone believes that they can become a millionaire if they work hard and all that, or at the same time believe that the system has already been rigged so far that it's not worth actually fighting against corruption or anything, because you're like, yeah, of course politicians are bought and then do what their donors tell them, so why is this different? And it's like, well, it's more blatant for once, and maybe the idea is to actually change the system and not just accept it and shrug and go like, well, what can I do? And then I think that sort of like sedating of the masses is an important aspect of like of the whole like liberal neoliberal both like ideology and sort of socialization that we've all gone through. And breaking that, I think, is important in a lot of ways. And we'll see how that works, and if if it works, and if anyone actually decides that enough is enough. I think it might just work because while everyone accepts that everyone, that the political systems in the West are corrupt, which sure they are, but yeah, I think Elon Musk is just so incredibly unlikable on a personal level, and does not know when to stop and when to shut up. That just because the flip side, the other aspect of like neoliberalism and hyper individualism is the focus on one person. That like just hatred for Elon Musk might lead to people doing something they wouldn't do for people that are similarly powerful but know when to shut up, I guess, and stay in the background, right? It's like in theory everyone hates the CEO of Raytheon, but like how many people actually know his name and want to do something about it, right? But Musk being Musk makes it easier to focus that rage, I guess, and that might be helpful. Because like, if Trump really goes like, well, we're gonna label protesters again or people that want to boycott or talk about boycotting Tesla. We want to treat them the same way we treat the people that we call them domestic terrorists, which he has kind of said, right? Um, that might just piss off people, right? Because at that point, they may just go too far. Which we'll see what happens. It's not exactly yeah, it's just maybe one step too far. One can hope, at least. It's not like not like there's much hope left these days, but who knows? At least it's a great time for everyone doing political commentary on the internet, because there's so much stuff to just like mock and rage about, and while not while it's hard to actually go outside and do something, it's much easier to sit at home and watch other people be mad about it on the internet. And so yeah, I guess if I wanted to make money, I would become like a political live streamer or whatever. Sorry, I'm struggling to sleep. I mean, it is super late for you, and if you have to get up early, that will be painful. But maybe it's slowly adapting to daylight savings. Yeah, hunger doesn't help with falling asleep. That's unfortunately also true. But I don't know if it may be too late to have like a very late night snack. You said you had like a bit of a reading slump there, but have you, Demi Draker, have you finished Memories of Ice, or are you still somewhere between Capustan and Black Coral? Not to put any pressure on you, right? I mean, obviously not. Yeah, it's right now it's super sunny. I mean, it's that's the thing with we'll obviously will be somewhat reset with when we switch to daylights again. But for now, it is we've reached a point where I maybe don't actually really need to do really need to actually use like a lamp on my desk, because it is super bright from the side of my room. I mean, obviously it's like more like sideways illumination, but right now I'm getting blinded more by the light that's coming from my window than from the lamp in front of me, which says a lot. Um, like, let me switch that off for a second. Let's see if it changes much. Not really, right? Um, well, I don't see much of a difference, but that's me not seeing much. Although, to be fair, I notice when the light is not switched on and off. Like that much I can still see. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to read next. I mean, I still should get the Buffalo Hunter Hunter, but haven't gotten that one yet. So that is true. Although, see, snacks at like 3 or 4 a.m., I guess, are more controversial than the existence of, of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. But yeah. And I did refrain from commenting on that very old comment because, I am, of course, a man of principle that never gets into arguments on the internet. Never. And yeah, I'm really wondering when I'll be feel ready to finally get back and actually finish that Mormonism video. Because once again, like, I feel like there should be a level of like visual uniformity, right? By which I mean, even though I recorded in parts, I want to look and sound moderately the same in each of these parts. So no big custom changes in this one, right? Hey Kale, how you doing? Down under there. Is it autumn yet? So I'm wondering like whether I should wait for the wonderful eyebrow scar to at least heal slightly more before I go back to recording or not, and because it will take I suspect it will take me about a week to record the entire video. Now that is bad if you don't have like an easy snack. That is unfortunate, I would say. um, so I'm wondering when to actually go back to this and actually record the whole thing in one fell swoop, like at least one part per day. And if I manage to record one chapter per day, we should be done in 1 week. And ideally, I hand the individual chapters off to people to watch over and tell me, if I was insensitive while I'm recording the next part. So in case something comes up, I can just go back and re-record the thing. Why would I have a rivalry with the college dean? No, I don't think so. It's one of the things I don't have. I used to, but the college, like university dean, did in fact change a couple of years back, and the one we had before was used to be a professor of economics, and well, didn't think much of the humanities as in general, which is obviously bad if you are somewhat involved in the humanities department. And then luckily he went somewhere else, and the next one used to be a professor of art history, and well, still not being perfect in by any stretch of the imagination, which is just normal uh, for I guess anyone running such a large organization. They at least understand the worth of humanities in general. But yeah, No, I got into a street fight in Athens. I mean, technically, running against a street lamp is a street fight, right? So yeah. So I'm trying to figure out when I will feel confident enough to actually record the whole fucking thing because I want to get it off my chest. I want to move on. I want to do something else. But speaking of all of that, let's do the second round of sprinting. I'll be back shortly before the full hour so I can run down and catch my bus and be at the gym in time. I mean, I don't have to be at the gym in time, but I have to catch the bus in time. Unless they're on strike again, those fuckers. Which obviously, if they're right, I absolutely support it. I just hate going to a bus stop and finding out that there's no bus going. Which is of course the purpose of a strike. If you strike and no one gets angry, it kind of doesn't work. Which is why garbage collection and public transport are like probably the most effective places to strike on. So yeah, let's do that. By which I mean obviously strike, I guess, and try to do some reading and productivity and all of these things. And I am back. uh, I am back quickly. I did finish all my outstanding emails except for one where I need to pay a bill, but for that I need to wait for money to come in, so it's not going to happen right now, is it? And yeah, updated some other stuff. And yeah, I'm ready to go to the gym and see if I can still do cardio after a week of Athens, which is certainly up for debate. How did you do? I hope you did well. So I'm gonna, figure out what I'm gonna read while I'm at the gym on the way to the bus, I guess. I hope that goes well and I don't pick something that was turns out to be a wrong choice. But I guess I'll let you know tomorrow morning when we do the next sprints. I don't think there will be a video today because I don't know what I would be talking about. But I'm sure I can come up with something for the rest of the week. We will see. So yeah, I hope everyone had a good day, or has a good day, and all of those things. Thanks for hanging out, and yeah, talk to you somewhere very soon.